vans and sport utilities, Toyota, Honda, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, you name it. At Budget, we take the new car depreciation out so you won't have to deal with it and buy with just $7 down. Yep, $7 down. We have a huge selection and making room every day. The 2024s are arriving. Hertz, Avis, Budget, they're dumping like new low-mileage inventory, and you can take advantage of these huge rental fleet and off-lease deals. And the savings is ridiculous. It's unbelievable. It's been a record year so far, and we want September to be even better. Visit us online at buybudgetonline.com, 61 Mendel Parkway, next to Fraser Church, or all new in Prattville, 508 McQueen Smith Road. Did I mention buybudgetonline.com?
$7 down with approved credit.
Hi, this is Doug Amos. If you're a pet lover like me, there's no other place in the River region that'll take care of all your pet needs like Petland Montgomery and East Chase. Keith and Leah Evans have been in the business for decades, and it's easy to see why. Their family-owned store is a fun destination spot. Whether you're in the market for one of their adorable puppies from the absolute best 5-star kennels around the country, or just need some supplies for whatever type pet you have in your home, Petland Montgomery is your one-stop shop. Feeling stressed? Go by and play with one of the puppies in their socially distanced cubicles, and you'll leave with a smile on your face. Thinking you might want another type pet? Keith and Leah have you covered there too. Fish, reptiles, rabbits, ferrets, exotic birds, and more are available. Their entire non-pet inventory is available online at petlandmontgomery.com, where you can order and pay for whatever you need if you can't make it by the store. Petland Montgomery, it's my go-to place for all my pets' needs. Make it yours as well.
Your NASCAR station in the River region is WTXK, Pike Road, Montgomery, ESPN, The Ticket.
Welcome to Patriot Talk with Pike Road head football coach Granger Shook. Each week, Coach Shook will offer an in-depth look at his program as the Patriots again battle for championships. The show is brought to you by Sexton Tire, McKee and Associates, Nuke's Eatery, Halstead LLC, Hidden Oaks in Pike Road, and the Pike Road Patriot Fund. Get in touch with the show by calling 334-517-1210 or texting the Patriot Talk text box at 334-313-1170. Now, here with Coach Shook is Doug Amos.
As I said earlier on social media, my favorite after-hours place in the town of Pike Road is the Market at John Hall store. There is absolutely no doubt about it, and it's time to talk some more Patriots football with you as the Pike Road Patriots win for the second week in a row, now 2-0 in region play, and the head coach of the Patriots, Mr. Granger Shook, joins us here. Granger, man, congratulations.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it, man. Again, another great environment out here at John Hall store.
What? Not coming out of there. Now it is. There we go. Okay, we're good. I was talking to Grib earlier. Not only do they have our show in here, they've got live music out there. They got a birthday party out there. Yep. Everybody enjoying their favorite beverage out here. And yes, once again, I had the bacon cheeseburger. And I told Grib there ain't nothing like it. Now he has just brought me some boiled peanuts that are still smoking. So I'm pretty excited about that. If you're watching live on the perhaps off the Pike Road football, PikeRoadQBClub.com, you see that both Coach and I are sporting new Pike Road. What do you call these? They're monster jugs.
They are.
I mean, this is awesome. You see how good they look. As promised, I have my mini helmet here as well. And so I'm going home with toys today, Coach.
There you go. I like it.
Hey, let's talk some about your game and how things went against Lanier. It was somewhat of a track meet.
It was early, and we knew that the Poets had a chance to have big play potential. Their staff does a great job with their personnel, and they were able to, line up in certain formations to put us in a bind defensively, and they threw the ball and played pitch and catch really well. They have some dynamic receivers, and they have speed on the perimeter, and they're big up front. So they are going to be a playoff team in our region. There's no doubt about it. I don't know if they'll be where they'll finish up the season, but they are a playoff team. I thought our boys, handled the halftime adjustments and the halftime challenge well. Defensively only gave up one big play in the second half. Offensively, from start to finish, I thought our O-line did a great job of paving the way and protecting our quarterback and paving the way for Jamichael and Pat and AT and all the guys. And so I thought we did well on offense. Just got to tighten up our special teams. Kind of disappointed in our kickoff team a little bit.
What happened there?
Gave up a big play and gave up a touchdown on our kickoff team, on our Thunder team, and kind of kept them in the game.
Right.
We did a great job on offense of driving down the field and really establishing, our momentum on offense, and then we kick it off to them, and they return it for a touchdown right before half, and that really put us not behind the 8 ball, but it didn't. It's not indicative. The score was not indicative of how the game was going, and so. But I was proud of how our team came out, and we stopped them, and we scored, and kind of took over from there.
I noticed that our guests tonight are going to be point of attack guys.
Absolutely,
guys that were up front getting
yes.
it done. You had a big game out of your running back, I think, in this one.
Jamichael, yes.
And so we're going to talk to a defensive lineman and an offensive
yes.
lineman a little
yes.
bit later on the program, Rod Favor and Terrion Bell.
Absolutely. Rod is a senior for us, plays D-line. There's some packages on offense where he'll come over and play on the offensive side as well. But, Rod has done a great job of solidifying the point of attack, like you said. Rod is an exceptional practice player. And I know coaches, when they hear us, when college recruiters come in and they hear practice player, their eyes light up, because you don't have to coax and you don't have to demand and you don't have to, threaten work ethic out of Rod. He is 100% every snap. I wish there were more like him. But him and Terrion are going to be college football players. Terrion helps on the offensive line. He solidifies the front. He is athletic enough to pull. He's athletic enough to get on the perimeter, on screens. And he's very, very dominant at the point of attack. At least he was against Lanier. And, he graded out the highest on our offensive line. So, Terrion and Rod were no-brainers. Anytime you rush for over 200 yards, anytime you throw for over 200 yards, you have to have an offensive lineman as a representative on the show.
I totally get it. Absolutely get it. I recognize people in the house now. I see folks I know. Always like seeing folks I know out here at
I hope they don't leave
the
now,
market at John Hall store. Do what?
I hope they don't leave since they saw
Amos
you.
is here. We got to get out of here. Dr. Veach is here and others. It's great to have them in the house. But let's talk, if we can, about, because we talked after the Marist game, 1 week better. We talked after the Hillcrest-Tuscaloosa game, 1 week better. Keep your heads up. These games are going to help us. I'm pretty sure you're experiencing that. You're seeing
Absolutely.
that, and your kids are buying into that.
Absolutely. Those were 2 top 5, top 3 teams in each respective state. We have some youth on our team. It's a new staff, really, from top to bottom. So learning how to work together, learning how to coach together on Friday nights and adjust off one another. And then as a younger team, learning how to work together and take the coaching on Friday night. And so we're getting into the groove, and so we have played 2 region opponents. We have played well enough to come out on top in the region. We're tied for first in our region right now. And so, I'm excited about what the future holds for this Pike Road team. And I think our staff sees the bright future ahead this year and for years to come. And so really, really grateful for the opportunity to be here at Pike Road, and thankful for guys like Rod Favor and Terrion Bell. I mean, those 2 guys have been great leaders for us from day one. And so I think that that we'll do a good job moving forward.
Okay, so I would like for you to kind of break down the things that you thought you most needed to improve on earlier in the year and the things you have most improved on?
Well, I think, we'll start with defense. Defensively, we did not read our keys well. We did not run to the ball well. So we have really emphasized that moving forward. And I thought we have read our keys well. I think we've ran to the ball well. I think effort's been there. Tackling, we can always improve on tackling. I think you can ask any coach in the country, no matter what level they are at. Tackling is always something that you can improve on, but we have gotten better at that as the years progressed. I think special teams, I think we have gotten better, but there's still room for improvement in areas like, kickoff. I think areas like pride or our punt team, I think there's definitely room for improvement. Offensively, I think our offensive line has grown tremendously from week 1 to week 4. And, really excited to see the growth of that continue. We have Slayton Wortham, who is a senior. We have, Dez. We have Trey. We have Terrion. We have Zion. Those guys have really grown together and are really established in the line of scrimmage, and I look forward to watching them do that tomorrow night. Our freshman quarterback has done a good job of growing under a new offensive coordinator. He has done a good job of distributing the ball. I know that wide receiver play, we've really stressed blocking on the perimeter, and I think our blocking on the perimeter has gotten better. And then, our running back, Jermichael, has done a good job of hitting his groove once we got into region play. And so I think all that combined, I think there's still room for improvement, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Talk to me about one of the most important things I think you're going to find out in any football season. Most everybody's going to suffer some nicks and bruises and some injuries. Mm-hmm. Talk about where you are on depth. I know every coach tries to develop as much depth as they can throughout the year.
Right.
Where do we stand on that?
Well, I think that's the biggest difference between 6A and 7A. I've blessed to coach at Colquitt County, 7A in Georgia, blessed to coach at Prattville, 7A in Alabama. Our top guys at Pike Road can play at any level, but it's the depth behind them is where 7A really pulls apart from 6A, at least right now. And so we are banged up. We as a staff thought that we had to get a little more physical after watching our first game. So we've been doing a lot of good on good, and that's kind of been a double-edged sword for us. I think we've gotten more physical, but I think we've beaten each other up a little bit. And we have a very tough schedule. We've played top 5 teams. We've played some very dynamic teams. And I think we've gotten, we're a little sore. I think we're a little tired. I know we're going into homecoming week this week. We got Eufaula coming in, who's a very dynamic team. But I think our bye week next week is very timely. I think our team is going to have a chance to recover. I think our team is going to have a chance to recuperate moving forward for that long stretch, that long region run.
So as we move into the show, and obviously we told you our guests are Rod Favor a bit later on, along with Terrion Bell. You're out of region this week.
Yes.
Before you get back in, you've got Eufaula. We'll talk specifically about Eufaula in a little while. But talk now generically about what an out-of-region game means. Anything differently? If it didn't have that non in front of it, would it be approached differently?
Well, as a staff and as a team, no. There's a lot of fans that may look at it differently. To the average fan, it may be, but to the fans who know and understand that, when you get into the playoffs and there may be a tiebreaker to win the region, that your non-region opponents are vital. And that if you beat a non-region opponent, who, by the way, has already beaten Stanhope Elmore at Stanhope Elmore, who is a region of foe, Eufaula is a very good team.
3-1
yes,
on the
and
year.
Eufaula
They're
is
2-0 in
3-1.
their region.
Yes, and so the more teams Eufaula beats is better for us, as long as we handle business on Friday night. So Eufaula is a very, very good opponent, and Eufaula is a very critical game on our schedule.
Okay, we're going to continue this discussion as we move forward. Thanks to Turner Faulkner for bringing us some of the stats. Let's talk before we do take a break about some of the numbers. You beat Sidney Lanier 52-33. That means your last 2 games, Coach, your offense has really, really clicked. Talk to me a bit about if you had to say one key why you've been able to score 93 combined in your last 2 games. Has it been up front? Has it been the job?
It has been up front, and I know that Jamichael won Fever Athlete of the Week this week.
And that because of those dudes.
That is a tremendous honor for anybody, but I think we've stressed to the team all week that although somebody may receive an individual honor, it is a team honor on our behalf that he's receiving. And so, Terrion, again, you do not rush for 200 yards without a good offensive line. You do not throw for almost 300 yards, almost 400 yards in 2 games without good pass protection. And so I know that guys like Caleb Foster and Jordan King and Elias and guys like, Drew and Mason Hussey, those guys are, getting a lot of good stats, but it's because of guys like Terrion Bell and the others that I've mentioned earlier for paving the way.
Kason Myers on the year now, completing 67% of his passes, 60 out of 89, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Against Lanier, 14 of 22 for 202 and 1. You mentioned the job that Mike had. What a great job, Mike Jones. 18 carries, 201 yards. He had an 84-yard run. Just an incredible performance by the sophomore. Yeah,
and he's just a sophomore. He is just now hitting his groove. Being in 6A football, there's a lot of good defenses, and he is catching up to the speed of the game, and he is really seeing it well. It's hard not to see the pathways that those guys are paving for him. But again, excited about what the future has in store for Pike Road this year. I said, before the Marist game, I said, we will really find out who we are week 3, week 4, week 5, and we are getting into our groove, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Absolutely, as you should. Let's look a little bit at the defensive numbers before we slide out with our first break. Looks like Malik Blockton's getting it. I know that he's such a unbelievable athlete.
Right.
You get him to figure it out, what to do within your system and what it requires to be in your system. He's going to get nothing but better.
There's no doubt. And again,
8 overall tackles for him,
which is great for a D lineman at whatever level. And so, coming in, it's not just the offense learning a new system. We have a new coordinator on defense as well, and a whole new defensive staff almost as well. So again, there's a lot of newness, but the newness is starting to wear off. Malik, we have moved him around, and we have the ability to move him around because he's so dynamic and he's so versatile up front. He can play anything from a 0 to a 9 technique, and so depending on what the offense likes to do that we're facing, we will try to move him into the certain technique that we think best fits us as a defense. And, he's on one side. Rod, who's here with us tonight, Rod's on another side, and we got 2 really good senior linebackers as Mac Seaman and Ced Foster.
Both have been guests on this program.
Both have been guests.
The karma that's coming out of Patriot Talk's just incredible. They come on the show, they play well.
I may need you, at the pregame speech.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. If you want to be on our show next week, by golly, you're going to stud out tonight.
There you go.
In all honesty, I'm pretty observant dude. Y'all hadn't lost since you changed watch bands.
You were very. You know who else is observant? Rod.
Rod
Favor noticed it too.
Yes. Look at him. He's smiling over there.
He knows it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Y'all need to burn that other one at the stake.
Amen.
All right, so let's take a break. We'll bring in Rod Favor when we return, the senior defensive lineman. This club's on a roll. It's won 2 in a row. Tough matchup tomorrow night at home at Pike Road with Eufaula. Again, gofan.co will get you tickets to the game. But we want to promote getting people into the quarterback club. And
absolutely.
These that we are sporting here tonight,
yes,
they are available at the games for $20.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, listen, I've got a gigantic Yeti over here.
Yes.
And I poured my full Yeti that my friend Turner filled up for me. It went about halfway up.
I love it.
I mean, literally, this is about a 40-ouncer, I think.
On warm and cold.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it'd be great.
If you drink that much coffee, though, by golly, I don't want to be around you. Okay? Just keep me away from you.
Also, don't forget Ronnie Sexton.
That's right. Gave it back.
Gave it back. So there's another
dinner at
possibility.
Zaza's.
Yes.
So anybody in attendance that's not yet in the quarterback club, I'm talking to you, Dr. Veach, down there. I know you can hear me. Don't play like you can't. Anybody that is not in the quarterback club, I'm giving you, if you join, it costs how much to join? $50.
Yes.
I'm giving you dinner at Zaza's for you and your family.
Yes.
For joining the quarterback club for $50.
It's a win-win.
It's like a double win.
Yes.
And then the program wins as well.
Absolutely.
As we go to break, talk about that importance. We joke around about it.
No.
But it's incredibly important.
You know, Pike Road, our goal is to be a championship program, and we have to have community support to have the resources that provide championship resources. And so, again, just being a part, I know there's a lot of people here in attendance, and I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot of excitement, but just the involvement in our quarterback club that provide meals for us, not only on Wednesdays after practice, but throughout the week for pre-practice snacks and drinks and pregame meals. Our quarterback club is vital to the success of Pike Road football, and I can't speak any more to what those Pike Road quarterback club members do day in and day out. I'm really excited about it.
I know our buddy Michael Hennig couldn't be here tonight, but he's the big kind of the fundraiser dude.
He is. He spearheads that effort. Yeah. He does a great job. Zach Gibbs. Brooks Boyd is here in attendance.
Brooks is who brought us our stuff tonight. Yes. Hey, Brooks, $20 for these at the games, right?
Yes.
I mean, these are sporty, man. That is sweet.
They are. I'm excited. My wife's going to be jealous when I come home.
She is a little bit.
One.
And no, the answer is no. She cannot have mine. We're going to take a break. We are back to the market at John Hall Store here in the town of Pike Road. Live music outside, Patriot Talk inside. Everybody merging together after to enjoy a beautiful Thursday night in the town of Pike Road. We're back right after this on ESPN The Ticket.
Sexton Tire Pros is home of the hassle-free guarantee. They make taking care of your tires simpler by offering a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, a hassle-free experience, and major brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. For whatever you drive, Michelin is a tire to fit any need. Sexton Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. Find out more online at sextontirepros.com.
I hit a bump in the road, I got a nail in my tires. The muffler is loose, the steering no power. At Sexton Tire Pros, we're one of the few where everything we do rotates around you. Sexton.
Come discover a more familiar way of life in Pike Road's newest development, Hidden Oaks. Build your dream home in nature without all the traffic. Located just minutes from the Pike Road Town Center, Publix, restaurants, and additional shopping, you won't have to go far for anything you might need. Hidden Oaks features incredible access to I-85 and Vaughn Road while still retaining its profound beauty and privacy. Auburn, Lake Martin, and downtown Montgomery are just a short drive away. With Site Pros getting the lots ready to build on, claim your spot now. To find out more about Hidden Oaks, go to hiddenoaksal.com.
The Pike Road Patriot Fund's goal is to raise money to support arts and athletic programs at Pike Road School. Over $100,000 has been raised over the years, and the monies have contributed to almost every sport and student organization. Thanks to the people attending and sponsoring the annual Crawfish Boil, which makes it easier to provide much-needed support to teachers and coaches. Visit www.prpatriotfund.com for more information.
Fueled by the vision of 3 generations of leaders with backgrounds in engineering, construction, and finance, Halstead has left an indelible mark of quality on the retail and multifamily landscape throughout the Southeast for more than 70 years. Halstead has built a diversified real estate portfolio across 14 states, featuring some of the best-known name brands in America. Call Halstead Contractors at 334-288-2330. Halstead is a proud supporter of Pike Road Patriot football.
It's year 7 of the Pig Enterprises Scoreboard Show. This is Doug Amos inviting you to join me and special guests each Friday night from 9 to 11 right here on WTXK, ESPN The Ticket in the River Region. You can listen online as well on roundtablebroadcast.com. Yes. We'll have a great time on remote at different high school games and in the studio. It's going to be a great year. Follow all your high school football scores right here on ESPN The Ticket.
Salads can be more than, salads. Like the new seared ahi tuna or shrimp and avocado salads at Nuke's Eatery. Both deliver impeccably indulgent flavors like seared sushi-grade tuna or plump broiled shrimp, along with our house-made dressings, ginger wasabi or lemon basil vinaigrette. Try one of these extraordinary salads today, only at Nuke's Eatery.
Located in Montgomery at Taylor and Vaughan, Tigertown, Opelika, and in the heart of Auburn.
You're listening to Patriot Talk with Pike Road head football coach Granger Shook. To be part of the show, call 334-517-1210 or text the Patriot Talk text box at 334-313-1170. Now back to Coach Shook and Doug Amos.
All right, welcome back. Doug and Granger here at our reserves table at the market at John Hall store. Grib and I, let me just tell you something. Grib is doing a great job hosting tonight. He said, Doug, we're going to be hopping tonight. And I said, great.
He's
we
right.
like it when it's hopping. But, it's starting to cool down a little bit out there.
That's right.
And it's just a fun place to be.
Which, for a football coach, you like when it cools down.
Oh, gosh. For a football player like Rod Favor, he likes it when it cools down out there. Rod, good to see you, buddy. Congratulations on getting these 2 region wins, man. There aren't any more important games on your schedule than the one with R next to them.
Yeah. No, Rod's done a great job as far as trying to be a leader for us, not only as a defensive lineman, but as a team. Again, he's a practice player. He practices hard, and so excited to have Rod here tonight.
Rod, I talked to a lot of the seniors that have come in here, and there have been some underclassmen too that have leadership roles on this team. You're one of those guys.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about how you kept everybody working hard with the 2 games early that really kind of got you better and got you ready for these last 2 region games.
Yes, sir. So when you're working with a bunch of younger guys, it's hard to pull their best out of them. So, you would have to, go out of your way to say something that you wouldn't normally say just because, they got it in them, but they just don't want to do it, or it's a certain time of the day, or it's too early, and you just have to push them. So even with some of the older guys, you have to push them, and they have it in them, but they just don't want to give it to you.
We'll get back to the most important question a little bit later on, but I want you both to comment on this because I've heard this from coaches. Sometimes guys that haven't been there, done that yet, don't even know what the effort is, what their best effort is.
Right.
It's like you get what they think is their best effort, and then you get them to go a little bit further.
There's no question. And so we have talked about how strong our mind is and how strong our attitude is and how strong our effort. And we try to talk about it as often as we can. You got to be careful as a coach so you don't say the same things over and over, or then they'll start tuning you out. So we try to use different methods to motivate our players as much as we can. But yes, Rod is one of those guys who gives great effort. He's definitely a leader by example guy. And again, excited to have him spearhead the effort up front. And he can do it really on both sides of the ball.
As a defensive lineman, he had 3 tackles the other night, 2 quarterback hurries.
Yes.
Sometimes quarterback hurries can be better than quarterback sacks.
Yes.
If they make a mistake, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with the opposing quarterback.
And that's kind of what happened. We got the quarterback off his launch point, off his spot, and he threw 2 interceptions. I
There
thought,
you go.
Cody Markham did a great job breaking the ball. Trey Caver did an excellent job of reacting to a tip pass. And so, again, grateful for our big guys like Rod and Terrion.
So talk, if you would, Rod, about the game the other night. A lot of scoring going on, but it seems to me that when you guys needed a big play, needed to make a stop, you were able to make a stop.
Yes, sir. It's just a lot going on, especially with all the lights and the flickering going on after you score. I'm new, so I'm just now getting used to it. So it's all fun. I try to have fun with every game I play. But with the big plays, I try to get the quarterback off his spot. And one of those plays, I managed to get, I think, Cody a pick. So I celebrated with him.
If you got a question or a comment for Coach Shook or Rod or Terrion, please feel free to text it to us, 334-313-1170. That is the Patriot Talk text box. You're welcome to send anything to that number, 334-313-1170, or you can call in if you'd like and be a part of the program. The call-in number is 334-517-1210. We'd love to hear from you. Bill Edmondson will pipe your call out here to us at the market at John Hall Store. All right, Rod, you fall tomorrow night. What have you seen? What have you heard about the challenges that they may provide you?
I hear that they're fast, they're very athletic, and they have a possible chance to beat us. So coming into this game, I'm just going to try to do my job like I always do. Give 100% effort and push my teammates to do better.
So I can already tell that this is one of those really good personality guys you've got on your team. I can already tell that he's a guy that's definitely got leadership qualities. So, Rod, favorite. Tell me one thing that you learned today.
Yes, sir. In AP pre-cal, shout out Miss Sullivan.
Whoa. We're going to stop right there, Rod. I believe you said AP pre-cal.
Yes, sir.
Which is calculus.
Yes, sir.
And AP is advanced.
Yes, sir.
Please leave the table. Just kidding. Tell me what you learned, but don't blow me away.
Okay, so we learned about rational functions. We just now getting into this lesson. So excuse me if I mispronounce this, but so we learned about 2 pairs of lines, the amplitude lines. So they don't really touch the X or Y axis. So think a pair of boomerangs that don't touch the X axis or the Y axis. So that's basically what we learned.
You lost me at please don't let me mispronounce this word. I heard nothing after that. But, hey, congrats. I need to shake your hand because that was the most detailed, unexplained thing that I have no idea what you were saying. I've been asking these questions for 4 years, and I have no idea what you learned today. So, but that's impressive. That's good. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Rod Favor. How about a big hand for him, the senior defensive lineman for the Pike Road Patriots?
Yes.
I mean, that young man is
he's got a bright
mature,
future.
and he's fun.
Yes.
He's smart. Once I heard AP, those are 2 letters that were not a part of my high school scholastic venture.
They weren't on your schedule?
No, I did have AP, but it was the A&P that was near where I grew up, over off Carter Hill Road.
There you go.
It was a grocery store.
Yes.
Did you ever see any AP classes in high school?
I plead the 5th.
That's a no. No, he probably did. Granger's a sharp, smart dude. Can you talk about that before we take a break and bring in Terrion Hill? You mentioned something. I mentioned it about sometimes stats can be a little deceptive.
Absolutely.
You look, got a pick here or a sack. And sometimes other plays can impact the game way more than some of those plays can. That they get more visibility.
Absolutely. You talking to Rod. Rod's right. He did a great job, as well as his other D linemen, of pressuring the quarterback and getting the quarterback to throw a ball up in distress. And not only did Cody have a great break and intercept the ball and high point the ball, but then you had the big guys up front and the linebackers blocking for Cody. You know what I mean? And so there's a total team effort. And so, yes, stats can be misleading. as far as, who really helped make the play that somebody may have capitalized on. That person that capitalized on it may have done their job and read their keys and done the right thing, but somebody else did too.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, so I'm just I wish that there was more stats for guys like T and Rod.
That's the point I want you to finish this segment with. A defensive lineman, you said that's a lot of tackles for a defensive lineman. You played linebacker in high school and college. You benefited from those defensive linemen holding up those offensive linemen, getting to the second level and blocking you.
Yes.
I mean, that's as key a play as any.
Yes.
Not letting anybody get to the second level to block you and allowing you to go over and set Huntington, all-time tackles records that were since broken.
Yes, they were broken. But no, it is a selfless sport. It's a selfless position that these guys play.
It's the most physical position.
It is. The line of scrimmage is what dictates the win or loss column more than any other position on the field. And so if you're able to hand the ball off and run for 200 yards, if you're able to sit back there as a quarterback and pat the ball, then, you have a chance to be really successful.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a few pictures with Rod and Terrion, and then Terrion Bell is going to join us. I've got a text for a question for Terrion. We'll get to that as well. Stick around. It is Patriot Talk on a Thursday. Don't forget the Patriots tomorrow night, 7 o'clock is the kickoff for the Patriots against, I think they're the Tigers, aren't they? The Eufaula Tigers.
They are.
Tomorrow night over at Pike Road Stadium in Pike Road. We're back with more of Patriot Talk right after this.
Fueled by the vision of 3 generations of leaders with backgrounds in engineering, construction, and finance, Halstead has left an indelible mark of quality on the retail and multifamily landscape throughout the Southeast for more than 70 years. Halstead has built a diversified real estate portfolio across 14 states, featuring some of the best-known name brands in America. Call Halstead Contractors at 334-288-2330. Halstead is a proud supporter of Pike Road Patriot football.
Eating healthy has never tasted this good. Stop by Nuke's Eatery and discover over 80 delicious 600-calorie options. Pair our succulent shrimp po' boy with a cup of tomato basil soup. Or stay warm and satisfied with a hearty bowl of corn and crab chowder. Whatever you're craving, you can find it for under 600 calories. Because we're happy to cut calories, but not flavor. Only at Nuke's Eatery.
Stop in at Nuke's Eatery, Montgomery, at Taylor and Vaughn.
It's year 7 of the Pig Enterprises Scoreboard Show. This is Doug Amos inviting you to join me and special guests each Friday night from 9 to 11 right here on WTXK, ESPN The Ticket in the River Region. You can listen online as well on roundtablebroadcast.com. We'll have a great time on remote at different high school games and in the studio. It's going to be a great, great year. Follow all your high school football scores right here on ESPN The Ticket.
Come discover a more familiar way of life in Pike Road's newest development, Hidden Oaks. Build your dream home in nature without all the traffic. Located just minutes from the Pike Road Town Center, Publix, restaurants, and additional shopping, you won't have to go far for anything you might need. Hidden Oaks features incredible access to I-85 and Vaughn Road while still retaining its profound beauty and privacy. Auburn, Lake Martin, and downtown Montgomery are just a short drive away. With site pros getting the lots ready to build on, claim your spot now. To find out more about Hidden Oaks,
if you would bend the microphone right in front of your mouth, okay? There you go. Perfect. Say hi to me if you would. All right, there you go.
Athletic programs at Pike Road School. Over $100,000 has been raised over the years, and the monies have contributed to almost every sport and student organization. Thanks to the people attending and sponsoring the annual Crawfish Boil, which makes it easier to provide much-needed support to teachers and coaches. Visit www.prpatriotfund.com for more information.
Sexton Tire Pros is home of the hassle-free guarantee. They make taking care of your tires simpler by offering a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, a hassle-free experience, and major brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. For whatever you drive, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Sexton Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. Find out more online at sextontirepros.com.
I hit a bump in the road, I got a nail in my tire. The muffler is loose, the steering no power. At Sexton Tire Pros, we're one of the few where everything we do rotates around you. Sexton.
You're listening to Patriot Talk with Pike Road head football coach Granger Shook. To be part of the show, call 334-517-1210 or text the Patriot Talk text box at 334-313-1170. Now back to Coach Shook and Doug Amos.
All right, so Coach Shook's bringing in the big guns here tonight for Patriot Talk, the guys that are the closest. I've always heard this. The closer you are to the football, the more important you are to the team.
Yes, and I told
both these dudes are really close to the football.
And I told my wideouts this the other day. I said, guys, because we ran and practiced a condensed set, I said, guys, the closer you are to the ball, the quicker it happens. The faster it happens, the more alert you have to be for reaction and reacting. And so, Terrion has done a great job of leading us up front. He graded out really well. He's one of our leaders up front, and I'm excited to have him here tonight.
No doubt about it. Terrion, welcome in, my friend. I hope you're well on this Thursday. You ready for tomorrow night?
Yes, sir.
You've heard that it will be quite the challenge. Tell me about the week of practice and how things have gone.
This week practice, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I feel like it was pretty good, but afternoons, I feel like we weren't really locked in, and the coach had to get on to us.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How'd the team respond? I know you're a junior, but still you've been there, so tell me how the team responded to this.
I think they bought into what he said, and they locked in and did good.
That is awesome. Great to have you. Tell me what you learned today. Just one thing.
I didn't really learn it, but I was challenged to write a newspaper in my history class. The teacher gave me a person. It was Ida Tarbell, and I had to write about why John D. Rockefeller and his Standard Oil Company was a scam, and it was hard. But
these guys are learning things
They are.
at Pike Road.
Very, very impressed with both Terrion and Rod, for sure.
So tell me a deal here about the academics at Pike Road.
Yes.
You know, it's a public school.
Right.
But it's at least my opinion, something that I've noticed, that it is a school that a lot of people are gravitating to.
Absolutely.
Not just students, but academians, teachers, people that are impacting our young people.
Absolutely, Doug, and that was one of the key things that during the interview process of coming over here that I asked, and my wife wanted to make sure I asked multiple times. But yes, I mean this is going to be a top 10 school system in the state of Alabama very quickly. We have a great administrative team. We have a really good superintendent. They have a plan mapped out, and our boys are reaping the benefits of that. There's good rigor in the classroom. There's good discipline in the hallways. Our boys understand what is expected of them, not only in the field, but in the hallway and the classroom. And so I'm excited to be a part of Pike Road, not only in the football program, but as the community and the academic portion of the high school.
Okay, Terrion, somebody sent a text in with a question, so I'll let you answer, then let Coach Shook answer. Y'all can kind of tag team this if you would like. It is, what's it like playing as an offensive lineman in an up-tempo type offense?
It's hard because when Coach Thacker first got there, we wasn't really doing tempo like that. And when he introduced it to us, I had to get used to getting done with a play and going back to the line of scrimmage. And when I wasn't
no huddle, you're just going right to it.
Yeah, well, no huddle. I had to get used to it. I was getting tired quick, but as we kept doing it more and more in practice, I'm used to it now. That's the first thing we do is practice tempo.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So, and I would think that makes you a better team.
Yes, sir.
Because if you're tired doing it, then you're probably not getting it done to the level that you could if you weren't tired, right,
That's
Coach?
Right. That's right, and Terrion's right. That is one of the first, if not the first thing we do every day at practice. We start out with a tempo period, and we try to stump the ball as quick as we can, which makes our defense better, makes our coaches better, because we got to learn how to communicate quickly amongst each other. It's not always scripted. Sometimes it is. But we get so specific with our offensive players. We tell them who to hand the ball to.
I love it.
You know what I mean? And it's not just, hey, act like you've been there before. You put the ball down and let them. No, you go run the ball to the official. You hand it either to the side judge, the back judge, the head linesman, depending on where you get tackled or if you run out of bounds. And so we try to be very strategic with how we coach our offensive tempo system.
So do you feel as a coach and with Terry on, is that an ability to be able to do that and do it and keep your energy up? Is that something that's going to help them potentially at the next level?
Absolutely.
Do you think football is going that way where everybody at some point is going to be a little tempo driven?
Absolutely. One of the last schools, Georgia Tech, running the wing tee and the quarterback running to the sideline and getting the huddle, then running back and telling everybody to play, and they're not even doing that anymore. So yes, I mean it's more explosive. It's more fun to watch. The fans enjoy it. I think our offense and our defense, and I think our fans can attest to that we've gotten faster as the years progressed. I think in week 4 we were way faster, way more efficient and proficient than we were in week 1 or 2 or 3. And I expect for our offense to continue to move in that direction.
And I'm thinking that's one of the ways that you've improved. You now don't really have to worry about Terry on in an up-tempo style offense, being tired.
That's right.
And not getting it done.
And I think Coach Lowry, our strength coach, I think he does a great job of stealing reps and stealing sprints, and our players may or may not understand why we do or what we're doing, but I think our players are buying into what Coach Lowry's doing on the field and in the weight room, and I think our kids are seeing that they are getting better as the season progresses, and we aren't plateauing or staying stagnant, that we are continuing to improve as a team.
I got bad news for Terrion, because while he's been visiting with us, Rod's been tossing down some wings like crazy back there. I have photographic evidence of so. This is your buddy right behind you, just absolutely going through all the wings. Just so you know.
Are there any bones left in that basket?
He's sitting over there going, ask him more questions.
Yeah.
More questions for Terrion.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's great seeing you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I got to just ask you the question that seems obvious to me to ask. It seems like your team is close. They like being around each other, probably more so all the time.
Right.
And I think that's a reflection, quite frankly, on the staff. Putting them in positions to where they feel connected to one another.
Well, thank you. I think our staff does a really good job of being intentional with our players. I think, we as a staff try to text our players. I think we as a staff try to communicate, and whether it's social media, whether it's text, whether it's phone calls, I think we try to be intentional, letting our players know we're thinking about them off the practice field or off the game field. And I think our players feel that. At least I hope they do, and I hope their families do. Yes, I think there's still room to grow in every area. Do I think this team is close? Absolutely. Do I think this team can be closer? There is no question in my mind. I mean, we're just going into week 5. And so hopefully by week 8, week 9, week 10, we try to break it down on family. We try to break it down on win. We try to break it down on certain things. And I challenge our players to live that out. And so hopefully by late in the year, our boys are continuing to enjoy being around each other, if that makes sense.
Have you as a staff noticed that? And is it also incumbent that you guys enjoy being around each other? Because high school football, it starts there, in my opinion, and then the college and the pro ranks. If you don't like the guys you're around, whether you're a player or a coach, then that's a steeper hill you got to climb.
Absolutely. We have talked before, and we'll continue to talk about the most athletic teams or the most athletic persons don't win all the time. It's the best teams.
Amen.
It's the teams that are the most selfless. It's the teams that are willing to sacrifice for one another and fight for one another and believe in one another and have faith in one another. And those, we have talked about that multiple times with our players. And so, yes, I believe that this team is close. I believe that this team is going to continue to grow closer together. And I think this year, I think we're just beginning to see what Pike Road football can be.
We'll take a break. We get back. I want you to break down Eufaula for us, talk a little bit about the order of the day tomorrow as you get ready to tackle it again. What do you say?
Thank you, Doug.
All right, we're back to start wrapping things up. Patriot Talk heading for home on a Thursday. The Patriots back at it tomorrow night against the Tigers of Eufaula over at Pike Road Stadium. Hope to see you there, everybody.
107.5 is W298BC Montgomery. ESPN The Ticket.
Luke's Eatery offers catering. From boxed lunches to full platters and whole cakes, we'll make sure everything exceeds your expectations. Our catering specialists can build custom platters like the bruschetta platter. Everything will look great and everyone will be satisfied. Luke's Eatery. We cater, you party. In Dothan, 334-699-1667. Or in Montgomery, 334-414-1759.
Sexton Tire Pros is home of the hassle-free guarantee. They make taking care of your tires simple, offering a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, a hassle-free experience, and major brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. For whatever you drive, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Sexton Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. Find out more online at sextontirepros.com.
Sexton Tire Pros, where everything rotates around you. Sexton.
The Pike Road Patriot Fund's goal is to raise money to support arts and athletic programs at Pike Road School. Over $100,000 has been raised over the years, and the monies have contributed to almost every sport and student organization. Thanks to the people attending and sponsoring the annual Crawfish Boil, which makes it easier to provide much-needed support to teachers and coaches. Visit www.prpatriotfund.com for more information.
Come discover a more familiar way of life in Pike Road's newest development, Hidden Oaks. Build your dream home in nature without all the traffic. Located just minutes from the Pike Road Town Center, Publix, restaurants, and additional shopping, you won't have to go far for anything you might need. Hidden Oaks features incredible access to I-85 and Vaughn Road while still retaining its profound beauty and privacy. Auburn, Lake Martin, and downtown Montgomery are just a short drive away. With site pros getting the lots ready to build on, claim your spot now. To find out more about Hidden Oaks, go to hiddenoaksal.com.
Fueled by the vision of 3 generations of leaders with backgrounds in engineering, construction, and finance, Halstead has left an indelible mark of quality on the retail and multifamily landscape throughout the Southeast for more than 70 years. Halstead has built a diversified real estate portfolio across 14 states, featuring some of the best-known name brands in America. Call Halstead Contractors at 334-288-2330. Halstead is a proud supporter of Pike Road Patriot football.
It's year 7 of the Pig Enterprises Scoreboard Show. This is Doug Amos inviting you to join me and special guests each Friday night from 9 to 11 right here on WTXK, ESPN The Ticket in the River Region. You can listen online as well on roundtablebroadcast.com. We'll have a great time on remote at different high school games and in the studio. It's going to be a great year. Follow all your high school football scores right here on ESPN The Ticket.
The Troy Trojans play on WTXK, Pike Road, Montgomery, ESPN The Ticket.
You're listening to Patriot Talk with Pike Road head football coach Granger Shook. To be part of the show, call 334-517-1210 or text the Patriot Talk text box at 334-313-1170. Now back to Coach Shook and Doug Amos.
Well, another talented non-region team awaits your club tomorrow night. Eufaula 3-1. They've won 3 in a row. They're only lost to a Ben Blackman coached Enterprise team, which is extremely good. Yeah, 7A team. Yep. So talk about what it's going to take and what you hope to see out of your team tomorrow night.
Well, it's going to take a lot of discipline. It's going to take some great effort for our guys on offense and defense. Side of the ball, we're going to have to win the line of scrimmage. Terrion and Rod are going to have their A game. I mean, those guys are big, they're fast, they're well coached. Coach Jernigan and I have coached together. We were actually on the North-South All-Star team, the same staff, and so he and I hit it off real well, got a great relationship.
I've known him for a long time.
He was a heck of a player.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a player, and so he's a very, very tough guy. You know, he tore his MCL, and then they got it scoped, and he played 4 days later. You don't
better man than me.
You don't see that nowadays, but that's how he coaches. That's how his players play, and you can see it. I just know the type of man he is. He's a great coach, tough guy, and his kids play that way.
You know, and he's in a coaching family.
Yes.
You know, a lot. His brother is a coach.
Right.
And so you got to know that he's going to have his team prepared. And when you are facing a team that is coached that way,
right.
I'm sure that raises the bar. Not that it could get any higher than what you expect out of yourself and your staff, but you know that they're going to be ready, so you got to be on point.
Absolutely, and I try to stress that to our guys early in the week. I told them, I think it was Monday afternoon, I said, listen, guys, in case y'all don't understand, Eufaula has already beaten Stanhope Elmore at Stanhope Elmore. They are a very good football team. And so I don't want y'all to think that just because it's homecoming and we have all this stuff going on throughout the week and you guys are staying up late, you know, doing whatever we do on homecoming now, that we don't have a good team coming in Friday. And I think they responded to that well later in the week. Early in the week, we probably didn't have our best practices, but I think our boys are ready to play. I think they understand that, you know, anytime an opponent hears that they're your homecoming opponent, they probably play with a little chip on their shoulder. And I think that's what we're going to see with those Eufaula Tigers coming in on Friday.
So talk about the distractions that come with homecoming, because they're there. I mean, the school gets excited. You know, you got a lot of peripheral stuff going on that can distract.
Yep.
So talk about that and how your staff is making sure that that doesn't happen.
Well, there may be some toilet paper involved and some trees. There may be some late night ringing doorbells. There may be some of that stuff going on. I'm not there, but maybe it's something Terrion and Rod can attest to.
Sounds to me like you're right in the middle of it, Coach.
Yeah, so, you know, it's homecoming week but I think our administration has done an excellent job of trying to promote school spirit. We've had themes each day. We have a big parade tomorrow that I'm excited about. We'll start really kind of in the town square area where the library is and Publix and all these restaurants
Town Hall,
Town Hall, and we'll have a parade all the way to the stadium where we'll have a big outdoors pep rally at the stadium where some of our players will speak. And, you know, the band will be there, cheerleaders, the whole works. And so I think our administration has been very intentional with trying to promote school spirit. And you know, this will be my first homecoming parade at Pike Road. And so I'm kind of excited to see what it's all about.
So give me the time frame. So you guys usually get together and go over some things with your team early.
Yep.
So kind of give me the order of the day again.
I talked to Mr. Darby, our band guy, our band director. He's got a small pep band that is going to meet us at the elementary school early in the morning. We're going to be at carpool pickup. Our band is going to be there. Our cheerleaders are going to be there, and we're going to get help get our elementary students out of the cars and get them excited.
That's awesome.
Because that's the future of Pike Road. I want them excited about Friday nights. and trying to be intentional about that. Well, after that, we're going straight to the field. We're going to have our walkthroughs. We'll have our film sessions, and then our boys go to class. We are going to let out early. Excited about that. You know, we're going to check out around 11:30. The whole school lets out at 11:30. We'll meet, like I said, at the town square at the hub of Pike Road, and we'll start our parade around 1 o'clock, and then we will have our parade down Old Pike Road all the way to the stadium, and then we'll have our pep rally there. And then once the pep rally is over, it's the football team's time. It's our time to focus back in. Because all that, and I try to let our boys know, the parade, the pep rally, the festivities, they all stem back to Friday night. And we got to do our best to make sure that we hold up our end of the bargain. And we want all the fans, we want all the moms and dads in a good mood once the game's over. You know, and that's our job, is to make sure that our boys can focus back in on kickoff and you follow.
So I want to just touch base for a second. You know, homecoming, that means homecoming queen. That means all type of stuff. Yep. And I got a feeling your team's going to handle that properly, because I wanted to tip my hat to something I saw on the review video from last week's game against Lanier. I think that's when you had all the youth players out on the field and the cheerleaders. And I saw so much engagement by your guys to those little fellas.
Right.
And that just meant the world to those kids.
It does.
And you could blow that off and just kind of make it look like you're, but I could tell that your guys were under strict instructions to make those young men feel special.
Well, we talk about being intentional all the time. And, you know, we had youth league or youth night last week. And I talk to our players daily about being intentional with how we treat our youth players, whether it's tackle, whether it's flag, whether it's whatever. Those young men look up to you, and I want you to make them feel welcome. And I want you to go out of your way and give them a high five and ask them how they're doing and all of that, because those young players, those young students will remember this for a long, long time. It doesn't take 10 seconds out of your day to go say, hey, but that first grader or that fourth grader or that sixth grader will remember that for a long, long time. And so I remember those days. I'm trying to make sure that these players make a lasting impact on the future of Pike Road.
GoFan.co, you can get your ticket there. You can pay at the gate. Get out and watch the Patriots take on Eufaula tomorrow night. It's homecoming. It's Coach Shook's first Pike Road homecoming. Let's make it special for his team. Great seeing you, Coach.
Thank you, Doug.
Let's do it again next week. What
Absolutely.
do you say?
Man, that was a quick show.
That was quick.
Yeah.
He's ready to eat, I think.
I am.
All right, folks. Again, 7 o'clock tomorrow. You can watch it live right there on the Pike Road Quarterback Club website. Go get them, Patriots. We'll see you again next Thursday night for Patriot Talk.